So, good morning. Well, I'm going to do a quick recap of what our trades, how people are engaged trades. Now, so we know what we are doing. So, this is the chart of your yes. Now, the last 1 week, there has not been any appreciable movement as we can see. Trades had pretty much remained in the middle, and that is what we can see. But what we expect from this market is a move to the upside. They are not just going to do that. They have wasted a whole lot of time here, and that is what the market leaders, that is what they do. If you like it, you can call it manipulation. But me, I will not call it manipulation because this always happens when they are trying to correct. So I see it more like a trial of your patience or a waste of time. That is what I would say it like, a trial of the patience or a waste of time, and which often happens, in the market. You want a quick move. Market is not going to do that. You must know that in forex by now, there are two things you must expect. Uh, Number one, before I even go to those two things, number one, the structure is what you have to look at. The structure must be completed, and everything must fall in line with structure. But I haven't said that things must fall in line with structure and obey structure. Then there are two things that must happen. Number one, the price movement, either moving up and down to complete the structure, and there could be a delay such that the structure also is completed. So a delay might now mean a sideways movement or a consolidation for a period of time before they move the price again to complete that structure. So the price may move straight in a straight line and consolidate as long as possible until the structure is completed and before they make another move. So that is what happens in the market. But everything has to go along structure. So you have to look at the structure on a bigger time frame. When you are doing your wave count on a higher time frame, and it gets to a smaller time frame like this is messy. This is very, very messy, and they're doing correction here. Now, do I want to buy from here because I'm looking for a buy? If you have big accounts, you can buy from here because we know the destination. But all these things are just gimmicks, trying to make this move and all of that. And you see all this move in the middle. I think last week, if not 2 weeks ago, I think, yeah, it should be last week. After making this move up to this point, where we got into sell, they came down to give us a price action, a power price action. Because if you look at this level, okay, let me just, I want you to see something. I'm going to highlight those 2 points, those 2 areas. This is the first area I want to highlight. This area is the first one, this area, and the second area Okay, I will highlight those 3 points now. Let me just make it 3 points. Let me make it 3 points for us to see. This is the second point I want you to see. And this is the third point I want you to see. The third point I want you to see. Now, when you look at these areas, these are areas of price action, 4-hour price action for more downside, because this is a price action for a downside. Then you can see the movement, down here. You can see it's a 4-hour price action for a down movement. And price actually moved to break low from here, because you are looking for a lower low before you confirm your direction. So price, this is a low and this is a high, and price is making a lower low for the first time. Can you see? But again, price still went up higher. But this is a price action or a recipe for a downside. So you don't just look for a recipe for downside. Now, this is also another recipe for a downside before we had this one. So price gave you 1, 2, 3 recipe for a downside. And on 2 occasions, price never moved to the downside until this recipe. So they want to confuse you. And after now this move, and they now began to do rubbish in the middle to waste your time. So until your patience is burnt out. And I think we came in at exactly around this point, and I had another one at this point also, looking for the price action. Now for me, what I did was to look at the wave count, and this is the bridge in the middle. And so if I do an 100% from here to this level, where is it going to fall? Because this is the bridge and it's going to be like an 100% extension from here to here. So, and to do that, what I have to do is to bring my, let's say, this is the bridge, from the head of the bridge down here. Then I will now take this new one to the low of the bridge, which is the low, sorry, the low of the bridge now is around here. Yeah, around that place. So the low of the bridge, because it's supposed to be on the head of the bridge. So the low of the bridge from this point down, then to look for a move to the upside, which means that once 100% is completed, I can be looking for a sell. But this one extended to like 123. So that is what now happened. Instead of 100, it's extended for about 123. So which means that as from 100% extension of this move, you can expect a bearish move because we are correcting. So this, it didn't happen here, it didn't happen here, and it didn't happen until here. And when you thought, okay, this again, you'll be guessing that, oh, maybe they are going to go upward. But what can now help you is when you connect A, which is the A move, and the B move together, and you have a break outside of it, to be a confirmation that maybe you're going to move to the downside. But for most of you, if you don't know, because you are waiting for this to cross before you say, okay, you confirm, the only opportunity you get to enter again will not be this point at this level, or at this level again. Price still do all of that at this level before making that move. So you must be able to know because price will, in doing correction, they will move in a triad. So this is the first part of it, the second part in the middle, and this is the last part of it. So you connect this and this to get the trend line, and you had a cross, over. And for the first time again, at that turning, what we'll be having is a crisscross of price around the 50 EMA on a 4-hour. When it's going up, it went up, and it made the second part of it like a support, and we have the top part of it on top of it. So the confirmation here, as you have a confirmation here, this one will give you a confirmation early because you're able to plot A and B. But when you're not even correct with your trend support or trend resistance, as the case may be, the 50 EMA will now confirm that to you. And if you switch to 1 hour, and let's switch to 1 hour and see what the 50 EMA has done around that area. Let's look at what 50 MA are done around that area. So the 50 MA probably also is giving you on the 1 hour is giving you a very quick, entry also level that okay, the price for the first time is doing a crisscross and eventually cross it. So if you combine those two together, and you can tell that at this point, the price had crossed down and is making both of them a resistance here. So at this level, price is making both of them a resistance, and that may now signal to you that the end of the first wave, which is A wave, had come. But again, you still expect a crisscross around around 50 MA before, because you won't be able to draw that here. The trend lines might not really help you anymore because you've crossed it. So I begin to watch. But when you have this, you can confidently say, okay, because you know the structure yourself. You know the structure that you're expecting yourself. So you expect that, okay, you can just have a move at here or at here for an entry. Of course, you won't be seeing this coming because this is a correction. After this move, is a correction. They came down here. This is the first move, and A and a B and a C before the move. So this is a wave 2 in this regard. So after this first wave, and this is A and a B and a C, and that's a wave 2 on the 1 hour time frame before they move. And the move came down. And so price action and all of that is very, very important before. But again, I want us to see actually that price action, and again how we look at those levels. So these levels now, when you want to see what they look like on the daily time frame, even though they are telling us, oh, they're going to come down. That's the price action or recipe for downside. Also on the daily time frame, let's look at what they gave us. Now, on the daily time frame, this is how they look. Now on the daily time frame, so this is the first and this is the second. Just focus on those zones now. This is the first, and this is the second, and this is the third. Of course, the first, looks more like, okay, on the daily, that you are going to come down. The second is really a false entry, because when you have a candle like this, and the other one, the wick is up, and this one the end is down, tells me that they still want to go a bit up. That's the meaning. Pay attention to this, please. When you have the first price action for a downside, of course, I can say this looked like a good entry for me because the trend had ended somewhere around, or it's going to break around this area. You can even look at the daily trend EMA 50 that is forming like a resistance here, and of course the crisscross around it before they begin now to move down here. So this is not quite a good price action on the daily, but this is also a very good price action on the daily after this bullish one. When you see this, of course, you think, oh, this is an engulfing candle and price is moving further up. It doesn't really work like that because you must understand the structure and what structure you have before you now begin to interpret, oh, if an engulfing candle is at the end of the structure is just to complete a move. And this also forming after a day, if you're able to see this with this, you know that the price is going to come down and you're going to make your entry around this area, around this area. So if you look at, where wave two is going to be, so that is what you can see here. And wave two is going to be so knowing where wave two is going to be, like I told us, this is peak here. Then if you take your feed retracement tool, because when it's forming really, you want to know where to begin to be. You know the beginning, you know the end. This has to happen. You have to see a move here first going up to know that, okay, yes, I think they want to do a wave two. This has to happen before you think of a wave two. But largely also, this actually came down in a three wave form in format in the 4 hour. See, it came down. This is a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So it came down like that. Three wave down, 1, 2, and a 3. And so let's see from this top here, because it's a correction before the down, before the first move. And we have that. Good. So, and this is our 85, and this is at 90. So because it's a correction, so you still have a good entry because you are plotting this. So let me take this one off. Let me take this one also off. I just used them to show you something during correction. So now we have A and this is B. The B wave for me is not completed, but the thing is that they could actually truncate this B wave. We expect that the B wave should run 61, 76, 85, and it has gone beyond 90 because you expect your 90 here around this area, and this has gone almost 100. So for me, I still think that there is a little bit of manipulation going on at the moment. And I remember I told you something that we expect a retest at the daily candle, this is the support that I said support here can turn into what the daily support. This was broken by this candle, so we expect like a retest around this area for the second resistance before price move further down. Now, looking at what is happening here now, it's still not a recipe for upside for me. I can't see any candle on the daily to tell me that yes, they are ready to move to the upside. I can't see. This one is not like this. When you saw this, you think, okay, this one will close, full as a full candle, and that could have probably told me that they're going to go up. And this one, you have weak and weak here. And this one, yeah, forming this one is more telling me that they are still going to go downside. That is what I can see here. They might still be going downside. For all the candle formations here says nothing really. So because it says nothing really, I still have to think in line of the trend that is ongoing at the moment, which is coming down. So I won't be thinking that they're going to go up. There's nothing here on the daily to tell me that they want to go up. That's what I'm trying to say. So, but if I were you, what I would do is that this week is when we expect at least the final move to the downside. I still think that the price is going to come down, break this trend here. Price is going to break this trend here. Price is going to break this trend here. And once that trend is broken and they are making a new down, so what I will now do is to now create another trend. In case they're not going to come to my level, I can now create another trend, for price to guide price. As price is coming up to break this, I know that they are ready to go up. But for now, this has to be broken. So I'm waiting for this to be broken. Price will not just go up like this. For me, I'm more than 90% sure that price is not going to go up like this. No, no, no. This is not what price will do when they're going up. I think this is the first arm, and this might just be the second arm. The first arm, the second arm, and when you have a trend across like that and it's broken, so that is when you say, okay, yes, price is ready to go up. I would rather want to do this. I would rather want to see price breaking to the upside from here before I can say, even the wick can sharply break it, but the price will still be going down. That is, we don't need this one anymore. So we don't need that anymore. So that is what I expect price to do, but this is not important for me for now. So what is important for now is this. I want to see something to signal to me that these have been broken. So when this is broken, then I will be watching price with all vigilance that to guide it, that price will be moving up after the break of this, and I want price to come a bit more down. Price maybe, or breaking this, maybe doing something around this area, break this or go lower. But what do I really expect? You know, if I'm going to buy any around this area, and price is giving me a signal to buy, because you must be watching 4-hour candle at all times to know, and the daily candle to confirm, because by the time you are seeing the daily candle, it might be too late for you to get a decent entry. So the 4-hour candle, you must be watching for price action. I'm still going to show us a few examples of that. Okay, so I said this last week or 2 weeks ago. I said I don't think we are going to buy except we want to scalp, and these are areas that people can easily lose money because yeah, it looks a bit maybe about 200 pips or thereabouts in between, but it's you move up, you move down, you move up, you move down. It's quite crazy. So the price is not, even if I'm going to consolidate, I rather want to take consolidation and a bigger time frame like this when there is a correction. So because this is a consolidation and a bigger time frame, so why don't I sell or buy on a consolidation of a bigger time frame, and I want to sell or buy on a consolidation of a 4-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame that I can easily lose money. That was why I didn't even give a call here. So you must understand this and know what the price is doing. And this is where we said we're still going to see a A and a B should be going down. But with this now, this is the area we want the B to come to. So if this is broken, then I'll be watching price at the break of, immediately at the break of this trend support, I'll be watching for price. Price is, of course, it has almost kissed this resistance for me, the daily resistance for me that was broken here. So probably we can have a second attempt at this resistance before price now begins to make it to the downside. And when that happens, then we are looking at that we have an equal high to watch price. Any moment, price is going to make it to the downside. So I think we should just wait till around between Wednesday and Friday before we find a level to buy. That is what I want to say. I don't want to buy at this level at all. I don't want to. And that's too much for me. From where the current price is, even to the last bottom, that is about 200 pips. 200 pips is not small, 200 pips is not small. You will freak out, and price can still come down here after this 200 pips. Price can still make an extra of how many pips from here down to this place, under 100 pips. So price can still do, that 200 or 300 pips, but nothing is set in gold that price will come to this point. You understand? Nothing is set in gold that price is going to come to this point. So I rather want to watch price as it breaks this low to now begin to watch for every 4 hour, you know, price action to buy. So you can put your, I will be giving you a point to buy here. So where you can put your probably bigger lot size. So can put around this area and type stop loss in case price gets there. But we'll still be looking for in case price is going to fail to get there and you can see the price action. That is that on USD. And it's pretty much the same for USD, which I'm not going to spend time to waste here. So USD, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. Can you see what AUD? So when you see this looks good, like a recipe for I think I remember I told us something here that it looks like a recipe for upside here, but I don't think that they want to do that yet. Why? It was the way and manner this daily candle closed here. Was the way, if this daily candle had closed with this head up and this tail to the downside, then I will know that okay, they want to move up. But the way it closed, when you see if it's a bullish, if it's a bearish candle that closed like this, other way around, you have the head up and the tail down and it's bearish. You must know that okay, the price is going to move down, just like you have it here. But if this is the way the bullish candle closed, I know they're going to go up. That is what it's telling me. But this way, the head down and the tail here, and it's a bullish candle, I know that they're still going to, move to the downside. So, but now we'll be watching for a price action to the upside, which I have not seen here. Now, this is a smaller form of this, which still means downside. And this also is a smaller form of this on the daily, which still tells me a downside movement. Now, these and these are similar. Look at this one is big, this one is almost the same as this. If you watch the formation of the candle, just like the head down, and you have a tail and a tail. So I still see a small correction to the downside, which may actually break this low. And we should be watching for whatever, have our trend, to guide our move. So what I want to do, I want to see, this is not going to do it for you. If you want to draw a trend, for this move, it's not going to do it for you. It's not going to do it for you. It's not going to, if you have a breakout, because you can really have a sharp breakout from here. But I think where I don't want price to form 4-hour candle above is at this level here. I think we should do that on the euro as well. So at that level there, let me just put a gold something there. So I don't want to see a 4-hour candle above here for now. It has formed before, but I don't want to see it above here for now before we see more downside. So the 4-hour candle should close here, and it's giving me a price action for an upside. I want to take it. I want to buy from here to the upside. Say, but I don't want to see a 4-hour candle close. Give me a 4-hour candle price action. So if this closed, this kind of candle closed here, around here, I don't want to buy. It has to give me like a proper price action for me to say, okay, I want to buy above this level. So again, guiding your trend line with this will not do it for you. So you better look for a trend line that is going to run across from here, because the way the price had corrected. So you must know that the price could walk up, do some consolidation, break this one to this side, but the price might not actually break this before more downside is seen.